I always had me a good laugh at school. A class clown with a whole pack of clues. What can I say? That's what bad kids do. A latchkey child that brought rappers through. Now I'm up in the office wearing shackles blue. At the water cooler, wanting to act the fool.
Alright, hello everyone once again. This will be my second commentary video. Hopefully I will improve the process since making my first. This video is based on our current number 1 2v2 team on BG9. At least at the time of making this video we're number 1. I haven't been playing much lately, so hopefully we don't get overtaken in the next couple days, but we never know. We have about a 2850 MMR, which I believe is by far the highest on the PG, but whatever, MMR means nothing. So this is my first ARMS video of Wrath of the Lich King, and I'm actually pretty excited about it just because there really aren't any ARMS videos, so I think at this point that the playstyle is fairly untested. So I certainly, I'm sure, have not figured out all the tricks with ARMS, but this video is basically to show what I've figured out so far. So hopefully people can get something from it. Hopefully it's an enjoyable watch. And hopefully I'll make some more. We'll see. Alright, so this first set of matches is against Paladin Death Knight. Basically what we do against almost any Paladin team is I just don't get attached to a particular target, and the main goal that we have is not so much to stick one target as it is to just make sure that there's no healing going on. So generally what I'll do is I'll start on the Pally, I'll push him hard till I run out of intercept and charge, and then I'll get peeled, and I'll instantly swap and go batshit crazy on the DK until my charge is back up. I'll focus charge, focus intercept to heal, I'm back on the Pally until I get peeled again, and pretty much just repeat the cycle. Right here is the kill for this first match. Focus charge to a fear, and pretty big CC chain. But like I said, I mean, basically, we end up killing different people pretty much every other match against this team. We'll kill the Pally sometimes, we'll kill the DK sometimes. If the DK decides to just train my Druid, basically we'll split the map, I'll go on the Paladin, and we'll split the two of them as far apart as possible, and I will definitely kill the Paladin before DK kills my Druid. And if they're on me like this and healing, etc., we just shut down the heals. Okay, so Trinket, Strikes, Blade Storm. If you find an opportunity for a good one of those, it's pretty much a win against most teams. Shattering throwing this. Probably could have feared this Holy Light, but I really thought I'd get it with Intercept. That kind of sucked, but whatever. So, there's two macros that I think are pretty essential to play ARMS at the high level right now. One is Focus Charge. Focus Intercept is also really good. Focus Charge is by far the most important. The other one is Intervene macro for your 2v2 partner. One that just says cast target equals whatever your 2v2 partner name is, intervene. I think without those two macros, we would probably be a couple hundred points lower. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but they're certainly pretty essential. Alright, so, you know, it's the same thing going on this match. Just locking down heals, and just swap them whenever you get the opportunity. Here, you know, you can see I switched targets before even death hurt me, because I knew it was coming. Just turn around and shit on the DK. So a lot of times, I mean, I think I switch targets more than any warrior I've played against in twos. And I don't know if that's necessarily good, but it creates a ton of pressure. I'm not so much worried about zerging one target down as I am about getting two targets to half health. And that's pretty much just how we play the comp, is we basically create enough pressure that they have to blow cooldowns, and then do it again and they get killed. problem with swapping all the time. Sometimes, you know, you swap on a cyclone target if you're not communicating perfectly, but you know, that's really not a big deal. And the other thing about swapping a ton, as Druid Warrior right now, is that the Druid can just cyclone whoever's not on DR. And if you're not attached to a particular target, you can just sit on whoever else. I think that we play very aggressively. What I try to do is basically build momentum from the beginning of the fight and just sustain that pretty much the whole fight. You'll see the first time I get peeled, I'll pop Retell. Because usually after I blow my first couple, you know, my charge, my intercept, and then get peeled, like I've already created some pressure. And so I want to continue that pressure through the peel. So basically, as soon as I get peeled, I don't mess around with chasing after the target I was on. I think that's a huge mistake, and I see a lot of Warriors do it. You just got to admit you're peeled and go crazy batshit on whoever peeled you. And just don't ever let the other team take the pressure off. And that's really the best way to play Druid Warrior, because the more globals that you allow your Druid to use offensively, the better you're going to do. You know, if your team is on the defensive all the time, Druid's going to be spamming hots. That's just not a good way to play this comp. The more offensively your Druid can play, the more likely you are to win. You know, on top of the obvious that if you're playing defensive, you're not winning. If you're playing defensive, it shuts down your playstyle as well, or the playstyle that you should have. So against Pally Warrior, it's pretty much the same as Pally DK. Just shut down heals. Doesn't matter so much what target you're on. Druid CCs whoever you're not on. Keeps Insect Swarm up. And eventually you just pressure him down. And I think that in all of these fights that I've shown so far, the Paladin never gets any hard-casted heals off outside of Aura Mastery. And that's definitely a way to shit on Paladin teams. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but if you can pull it off, once you get that initial momentum up, they can just never shut it down. Oh, well, I guess you got a flash through my Blade Storm, but it's not really a big deal. So, it's pretty standard for us against Paladin teams. Alright, so this is Priest Rogue. This is just sort of an introductory fight, which is why it's so heavily edited. One of the big things I do against Priest Rogue is I bounce around the map a ton. And what that basically lets us do is, one, when I intervene charge the Rogue, it lets me get a MS up, or intervene intercept, it lets me get MS up, which is pretty difficult. And also when I'm bouncing around with like focus charges on the Priest or intervene charges on the Rogue, it gives me a couple seconds off the Rogue where Wound Poison can actually get ticked off by Abolish. And that lets me get topped off. And that's huge. So basically you go from, you know, a setup where it's really hard to keep your debuff, your healing debuff, and it's really hard to get theirs off. Once you start bouncing around the map, it actually sort of reverses that. So this is one of the top major Rogue teams on our battle group. We played this team a bunch, and we farm Mage Rogue in general, so they were trying some sort of new stuff. I intervene to get distance on the Rogue, Spell Reflect. But at this point, once they've committed to me, I'm basically just going to stay alive, and I'm saving Spell Reflect for when they try to reset. So I want to be able to Spell Reflect a Poly. I really can't afford to put it on cooldown. You know, once I've shield walled, if the Rogue sticks on me, he's going to die to Thorn. So they have to reset to win. And at this point, I could use my globals a little better for DPS, but I'm just basically saving everything to stop a reset. And, you know, I should get defreeze, Rocket Boots with the Rogue, and Blade Storm it down. This is another DK Pally fight. Pretty much the same as before. This fight, I think, though, is a pretty good demonstration of the kind of offensive CC and